Hey y'all, it's me. It's your girl, the real deal, and you already know. Like, share, and subscribe. What's up, real deal? How y'all doing out there? I hope everybody doing good, staying positive. Yeah, enjoying life, doing what you want to do, but being respectful. Yeah, yeah. But you know what, y'all? We want to get into our content. And look, don't forget to subscribe. And hey, go join the channel for $5. That's all I'm asking. Any super chats is welcome, okay? I don't do cash apps, okay? Yeah. Now over here on our little channel now, man, we about to get into our content. And then one thing about it, we're gonna keep it real. Okay. Now, Ruby Franke Eldest accused her of taking son's bed away for 7 months. Yeah, that's what they said their mom did. Now, sound like me, something is unbalanced in this house. But I'm gonna let y'all take a look at this video and then we're gonna react to it. But something is unbalanced with these kids because I don't know if they is resilience is trying to since the mom got rid of the father. Is there any resentment? You know, we're going on with the kids and stuff. I don't know. But hey, Ruby, Frankie, y'all know she's that mom had that television show, the past 8 passenger, okay? And her kid, I think mentally something went on. Because it's having your own show, and when you have to put on, it can mentally stress you out. If you're not keeping it real, you know, it's gonna mess you up. But if you keep it real in making this show, creating the show, but losing your husband due to the show and stuff like that, that's not right. Well, let's take a look at her 2 kids. Okay, these are her old eldest. Okay, listen to what they said.
Was Todd didn't get any room. He didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room.
Resurfaced videos from disgraced YouTuber Ruby Franke are now making the rounds, showing what critics call a pattern of abuse that stretches over multiple years.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag. I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October.
Videos Franke herself posted describe her controversial parenting style, like forcing her teenage son to sleep on a beanbag for months, or refusing to drop her then 6-year-old daughter's lunch off at school. These videos posted years before she was arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse.
And hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
Both Franke and her business partner, Jody Hildebrand, were arrested on August 30th after Franke's 12-year-old son broke free out of duct tape from Hildebrand's home and rushed to a neighbor for help.
Yeah, this is crazy. Now,
what was the problem?
911, the address of your emergency. Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help.
It happened in the small community of Ivins, Utah, about 4 hours south of Salt Lake City. Franke and Hildebrand's self-help parenting and brands spread farther than just the state of Utah.
Hold on, y'all.
This kid, I think he's been detained. He's obviously covered in wounds.
We're taking a closer look at the case of Ruby Franke, the YouTuber mom now accused of child abuse. For the first time, we're hearing the chilling 911 call and emergency radio communications after Franke's son escaped from her business partner's home and was found emaciated with open wounds.
And he asked us to call the police. So he's very afraid.
That 911 call came in just before 11 a.m. on August 30th. A neighbor in Ivins, Utah, a remote area about 4 hours south of Salt Lake City, reported a 12-year-old boy showed up at his house asking for help.
911, the address of your emergency. Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help.
The caller then references problems at the neighbor's home before explaining the boy arrived looking emaciated with duct tape around his wrists and ankles.
We know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty.
Officials later determined the boy's mother is Ruby Franke, the YouTuber behind the 8 Passengers channel. Once boasting more than 2 million subscribers, the channel is now defunct after being terminated.
My gosh, you guys, having kids is so much fun.
On her YouTube channel, Franke documented the lives of her 6 children and husband, Kevin, recording videos about everything from home renovations to back-to-school shopping. But Franke's strict mothering tactics came under fire long before her arrest.
No, I think she's stressed out. But she,
And my kids are literally starving. I hesitate to say this because it's going to sound like I'm like a mean barbarian, but I told the kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
In the past, Franke had addressed critics, saying she wouldn't stop mothering her way.
Online who hate me, who would like to cancel me, who would like to see me either burn in hell, as I have told, or disappear off the face of the earth. And I'm not going anywhere.
But it was Franke's own son who requested 911 be called.
And he asked us to call the police.
What's
So
his
he's
name?
very afraid. This kid has obviously been, I think he's been detained. He's obviously covered in wounds. We need the cops here as soon as possible.
First responder radio communications captured the moments after this 911 call came into dispatch.
Where he said a 12-year-old male showed up with tape around his legs, thirsty, asking for help, said he was afraid, asking for police. They've already gave the name of Russell Franke, unknown date of birth, or he did give us a date of birth, but I'm not showing any Russells in Stillman. I'll keep looking into that. The RP said he left through the porch of the neighbor's house.
First responders can then be heard discussing the boy's wounds, saying he has sores all over his body.
Does have duct tape around each ankle. He's not telling the RP why, and said that there's sores around his wrists and ankles. He's becoming, or correction, the RP is becoming emotional.
Then, for the first time, Ruby Franke is mentioned by name.
Sorry, the RP said that he left from a neighbor's Jody Hildebrand in Ivins, 54-year-old female. Not sure if they're related. When asking the RP's parents info, he said his mom is Ruby Franke, unknown where she lives.
First responders also mentioned Jody Hildebrand, whose home Franke's son escaped from. Franke and Hildebrand have a past relationship, collaborating on parenting videos.
Do you have an address for that, Jody? Tampa 8.
Anytime you think I want, fill in the blank, I don't care what it is, that is not love. Mm-hmm. Love is a gift that you offer because you have generated it inside yourself. And how do you generate love? Well, the only way to generate love is you use your agency to choose principles of truth.
First responders then mentioned the boy's siblings, who are still back at the home.
He's also saying that there's 2 of his sisters are back at the home as well.
Officials say when they arrived to the scene, investigators went to a nearby home, finding other children in similar conditions. In all, 4 children were eventually taken to the Department of Child and Family Services.
10-4, 3 minutes, medical's in front of me.
Recordings capture officials arriving to the scene when they see the 12-year-old boy's condition firsthand.
Hey, 314, the wounds on his leg are pretty good. 12X511, 314, medical is going to transport him. Said that his wounds are in need of immediate care.
Next, there's some confusion as first responders ask for a Rose Franke rather than Ruby Franke.
Confirming Rose Franke.
But officials quickly realize it's Ruby Franke that they're looking for.
South 7, I don't have any Rose Frankies coming back in Stillman or in Utah. I did find a Ruby Franke, which I sent to 12X11, showing an address out of Springville. However, only involvement is a traffic offense a couple days ago.
Additional first responders again comment on the boy's condition.
12X11 for your 14 as well. The child looks very emaciated.
Officials then discuss the next steps, deciding the boy needs medical care.
Or you want medical to hold off to transport to the hospital?
We need to get some photographs first.
Definitely. We're going to have him hold here.
Yeah, if he's alert and breathing, just hang out and wait for us, please.
According to a press release, the boy's condition was, quote, so severe that they were seen by the Santa Clara Ivans EMS and transported to a local hospital. Eventually, the conversation comes back to Franke and Hildebrand over the radio.
After doing a little digging, it looks like that 27 I sent you for Ruby Franke is going to be the one that is.
Let's start right here and analyze this thing, y'all. It seemed like this lady, allegedly, everything I say is allegedly, y'all. This is a reaction channel, okay? What happened? The way I'm looking, from what I'm visualing right now is the young lady right here with Ruby. They are more like a partner. You know, they more seem like they are a partner, and she's controlling who Ruby is. You know how you got somebody else in your relationship, and you are married, and then you don't left your husband, and the kids see it's a lot going on in the house that they see that we don't see, and these two here allegedly is up to something. Allegedly up to something. You know, it seemed like Ruby don't change her style thinking dealing with in a relationship, and the kids not liking it. Now for the kids, for that boy to be 12 and he's look like he dehydrated and drained and stuff like that. We got to hear about. We need to hear from Ruby's side also. But 6 kids for her, and she was married, and then you have a show that's trying to get a TV show, like I said, and trying to make them kids, you know, you got a whole TV show with millions of people watching, and then this here happened to your son in the show, doing the show. Why you showing some ain't right here mentally? It seemed like somebody controlling the lady allegedly on the right. You don't know who the controller because I don't know them, but it could be where mentally and socially, if you those two is not in the right direction, then the physical part gonna come, and that's what I'm seeing and hearing right here. Because I really want to hear. They said that mom took the kid's bed. That same 12-year-old little boy. Why is that 12-year-old boy being punished a lot out of all of them?
Associated with the Jody Hildebrand, they're both showing as therapists from Salt Lake and associated through social media as well.
Control 12X11. Does she have an address in Springville?
Yeah, 10-4. She's showing up in Salt Lake per her Facebook. Her and Jody both are therapists, showing addresses up or locations for their work up in Salt Lake as well.
Copy, yeah. 10-4, that's going to be the mom. What's the address for that Jody Hildebrand?
Sorry, which address for Jody?
Do you have an address for her in Kansas?
Yeah, 10-4. She's just accused true stuff from the address of.
At this point, first responders search Hildebrand's home.
7 key hold there. We're searching the house.
Both Franke and Hildebrand were.
Yeah, I never seen a house like this. I never seen a house made like this. But what I was saying right here, here is your controller right here. That's Ruby controller right there. See, anytime you got kids and somebody is controlling the option of the person's decision, she's doing it allegedly. She's the controller right here in this picture. But I want to really go back to what the kids were saying about the little boy. I don't know if they're gonna say it. I want to know why did that mama tie
What
that
you
little
guys
boy?
didn't know was Chad didn't get any room. He
Mhm.
didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room.
Resurfaced videos from disgraced YouTuber Ruby Franke are now making the rounds, showing what critics call a pattern of abuse that stretches over multiple years.
See, something ain't right. Something ain't right huh?
You've been sleeping on a beanbag. I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October.
Videos Franke herself posted describe her controversial parenting style, like forcing her teenage son to sleep on a beanbag for months or refusing to drop her.
I'm gonna be honest with you. These kids look drained and sleepy. Look at them. These
And
kids here are
6-year-old
sleepy.
daughter's lunch off at school. These videos posted years before she was arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse.
I think that Ruby trying to do too much. She allegedly wants to be a movie on her kids. Seem like to me, like she's not focusing on her family, and she letting them kids look drained, y'all. They look like they out, they're not kids. They not having fun. They trapped. They living her life, trying to make money off of her kids. They tired. Y'all saw them kids. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Like, share, and subscribe for me out.